let's turn to South Africa, and we are very happy to be joined here by Thapelo Mohapi, who is the General Secretary of the Shack Dwellers Movement in South Africa. Thapelo, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here and a privilege as well.
Well, it's really an honor for us, and Abahlali, known to many as the Shack Dwellers Movement in South Africa, well known to us here at Breakthrough News. But before we get into some of the other points we want to touch on, maybe for those who have never heard, just explain a little bit who you all are in Abahlali, what your movement is, and what you fight for.
Thank you very much once again. We were formed in 2005 as the Shack Dwellers Movement. Shacks are actually shanty towns. They are houses built out of wood, out of desperation. And when we were formed, it was 10 years after the fake democracy or the fake freedom that came to South Africa. We were formed to fight for, advance, and promote the interest of the poor and marginalized in South Africa. We are living in a very unhuman conditions. We live where there is no water and sanitation, any form of sanitation, no electricity whatsoever. We literally live like pigs in muds. Our lives are vandalized on a daily basis. We face brutal evictions. These evictions are at gunpoint at times. Ever since we were formed in 2005, we've lost 24 activists and leaders who are fighting for land, decent housing, and the dignity. So the dignity of a black person in South Africa, when you are poor, it's not recognized. It is something that we've never thought that 28 years later, post-apartheid, we will still be fighting against our own black government that we voted for, that we wanted to change our lives. So there is no better life for us, and we continue to live in the manner that we're living. So the movement was formed to struggle for a just and equal society where human dignity and respect is given regardless of your socio-economic status. So we are against any form of xenophobia. We are against any form of discrimination. We are against we are against racism. We believe that a human being is a human being whenever and wherever they find themselves. So that's basically, in short, our movement, what we stand for. But it's unfortunate that we are being killed for this. As I speak to you right now, I'm in hiding. The president of the movement is in hiding. The deputy president of the movement is in hiding. We are fearing for our lives, running away for our lives. There's a hit list, and I must say that the people who are after us are members of the ANC, high-profile ANC politicians who are out there because they see us as disturbance in using land for profits, and we are saying that land should be used for social purposes rather than for commercial purposes, because we believe that everyone must have access. It's shameful. This year alone, we have lost 4 activists. Killed in one of our commune, where people are actually planting food, where people are actually having their chicken, poultry and farm, where people are trying to create communes so that they could actually live and sustain themselves. Leaders who were leading that were killed by people who wanted to see the land being used for building properties so that they could sell them. So there was a consultation between those who want to use land for profit and ourselves who want to use land for the benefit of the entire community. So in the commune in March on the 8th, Ayanda Ngila, deputy chairperson of the branch, was gunned down in broad daylight in front of the community, in front of the kids, by hired hitmen who were hired by the ANC-led government. And on the 5th of May, Nokuthula Mabaso, who was the leader of the communal kitchen in that particular area, which ensured that women and children are able to not go to sleep without food, was shot 5 times. The killers actually were targeting her in such a way that they actually shot her from the back and turned over and shot her in the breast 2 times to ensure that she was left dead. And on the 20th of this of August this year as well. We lost Lindokuhle Mnguni, who was the chairperson of the branch, shot 13 times. His partner, fortunately by God's grace, survived at ICU after shot 3 times in the stomach. So these are things that have been happening for quite some time. And of course, Siyabonga Mangwele, in one of the nearby informal settlements, was also shot by police and police came. So these are some of the things that are happening in South Africa, in post-apartheid South Africa, and these are things that we are faced with on a daily basis in our work. And it's difficult. It's taking a lot of strain from our families. It's difficult for us to be living under these, let alone living under these inhuman conditions where we don't have access to basic services. And yet when we are fighting or voicing ourselves to say that we want these things, we are against any form of corruption, that's when we are targeted by the ANC. I'm saying this, the ANC, because in 2016, two high-profile politicians of the ANC were arrested and serving life as imprisonment as we speak for having killed one of our chairperson in a branch in our branch of Abahlali. And those were ward councillors, after shooting her 7 times, hiring a hitman, they were brought into book, and that's the only crime out of the 24 activists that have been killed that we have had justice. Despite that, we have grown, we have built this movement. We are now organizing in 5 of the 9 provinces in South Africa. We have 115,000 membership, because we're a membership-based movement. We continue to be radical. We continue to fight for our rights. We are encouraged by people who are on the ground saying that despite what is happening, we still support the leadership of Abahlali. We are able to organize under very difficult situations. It is a pity that in post-apartheid South Africa, that human rights defenders, those who defend human rights in this country, are targeted in the manner that I am targeted. So anytime, I always say that I'm the only. I'm one of the remaining and lucky leaders of Abahlali. Our names have always been on the list of the hitmen, and these assassinations are carried out by high-profile politicians.
You know, one of the things that I think is very interesting about the work that you all do, and I'm curious how you feel it fits into everything you do, is political education. I mean, I know at the kind of commune you had I think it's the France Fanon School, and put a lot of emphasis on the ideas and the battle of ideas. Talk about why that's so important for your movement and in the work that you do.
Yes, we believe that it is only when people are conscientized and organized from below that we can achieve what we want to achieve. Because we want to achieve a just and equal society. We want to see people being able to have communes. And I think the idea of the Frantz Fanon, Frantz Fanon is one of the great scholars that spoke about grassroots movements organizing from below. And we are very happy that the comrades in Ekenana named the school. In fact, it was named by the late chairperson of the Kenana commune, Lindokuhle Mnguni, before he left. If you go there, you will see a huge writing that says, Steve Biko lives. So this is a part of the Pan-Africanist agenda, but also a socialist, type of living that we must all either be working together to actually build a society where no child does not go to school. So the school is actually uplifting young children who don't know about what is happening in the country, because there are people who are called born free, but they are suffering. You say that people who were born post 1994, those are born free, but they came in this world suffering because of the corruption that is taking place in government. We are encouraged by the school that is there, that exists. We're encouraged by the activists that are there, in the midst of having lost 3 activists in that commune alone, that they still resist. We've recently won the Human Rights Defender of the Year for Southern Africa, particularly recognizing the work that is done in Ekenana. So Ekenana is one of the examples of what a socialist democracy is. Whatever proceed that comes out of the communal garden is shared equally in a meeting in a community hall. Whatever comes out of the chicken, poultry, or farm is shared in the community. They even have a communal kitchen that serves as something that caters for all people in the community, because they believe in the spirit of eating together and working together as comrades. But that's when the ANC, who were in exile, are supposed to be supporting it and encouraging it. Instead, the ANC sees this as a threat, because any organizing outside of the party, we are regarded as a terrorist. Must be someone who is, because black people can't like this. What do people know about their dignity? I'm saying to you that the ANC-led government has studied the apartheid-led government back then very well. What they are doing is worse than what the apartheid government was doing to MK soldiers who went to exile, and every black person that was treated. So we are treated by our own black people in the manner that is unhuman, like we have now.
Well, we really appreciate you being willing to join us, and I know there's a lot of challenges happening there in South Africa, and it's later in the night. So thank you so much for joining us and giving us a sense into the struggle of Abahlali here on the Freedom Side.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate for letting me to have voice heard. We would want, because some of the media in South Africa does not cover these stories that we are in hiding. It's a normal. It can't be normal that in post-democracy we must live in post-apartheid we must live like we are living right now. But thank you very much for giving this opportunity. We hope that this story will go and get to the media in South Africa, because we are being ignored. We feel like we are a forgotten generation. We live like pigs in the mud in the informal settlements, and nobody cares about us. Thank you very much.